Hello, hello. Welcome into Anime Plus, episode 86. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day, whatever day you're watching this or listening to this. Shout out to the fact we didn't have an episode last week. We kind of predicted that. We weren't 100% sure if it was going to happen. Just didn't end up happening. Didn't have an episode in our back pocket either. Hopefully we can get that fixed for some upcoming weeks as well. I got Zach here in the studio. Zach, how you doing? I feel like it's the first time I've seen you in like 3 or 4 weeks, because the last few game settings I feel like I've just been on Discord.
Yeah, they have. So it's been a bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in like a month. How you doing?
I've been doing good. I just noticed the switchers over there where John usually sits, and if it's there Saturday, he's probably going to destroy that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not leaving that there Saturday. No chance, because he will 100% break it. But yeah, you went on a nice vacation. How was that?
It was good. It was nice. Went up to Smoky Mountains. It's nice up there.
Yeah, I'm going on my vacation here in 15 days from now. I'm leaving, and I'm ready, to say the least. I'm ready. So that week, we'll see if Anime Plus has an episode. If it will be a bonus episode, which actually happens to be when all of these incredibly hype shows start.
Yep.
The week that I'm going to be gone, all the hype shows start. So it'll be like the second week of October is when we're actually going to start talking about My Hero and Spy Family and stuff. But, you know, one little plus to that is that when we come back and we're ready to go for the show, we pretty much have all of our shows ready. You know, we don't have to split episodes. We're like, all right, this episode has only these, and the next episode, based on when everything starts. That's a plus. We'll have everything.
Yeah.
Loaded lineup, and no Dragon Quest.
Hopefully.
I mean, 6 episodes. It should be done by then, right? Oh, no, it won't.
Nope.
It's coming off the script.
No, it's not.
It's coming off the script.
We've been here too long.
We're not going into October with Dragon Quest.
Yes, we are.
No, even though you're going to be stuck with Dragon Quest long because you have a game coming out.
Yeah, you posted that. I just sent a nice fuck. Yeah. But I'm not picking it up unless you or John are buying it.
I'll buy it for you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I'll buy it for you. You have to play it.
No.
It's part of the meme. You don't have a choice. You got to play it. I'll shout out to the Josh Pillow in studio and looking beautiful as ever. Also, shout out to the fact that here in the very near future, we will be in a new studio. Start doing some stuff next week on it. So sometime in October, there'll be sometime in October after I'm back from vacation, we should be in the new studio. 6.
That's 6th studio since starting this.
Is it?
Because
yeah. The original setup with my U-shaped desk, yeah.
And then we moved it over to the other room.
Yep.
Then we went to the other room.
Yeah.
Then we had the first room here.
Yeah, because that's right. We did have that brief stop in my office before the other room was done. So, yeah, the original one with the U-shaped desk, the brief one with the U-shaped desk in my office, and then, we
set up the first actual studio room.
Yes. And then what was the 4th?
That room.
Now this is 5th. Yep. 6th studio. Let's go. Let's go, baby. 6th studio for Sparky 3. We need a proper name for it. With the scale of this studio is going to be, I don't want to say too much yet. We need a proper name for it, not just the studio. Like the Spark House. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Don't shake your head at me like that.
I'll accept a name. I just won't accept that one.
Why? Come on, man. Well, what are you going to name it?
The Hole.
No, I'm not accepting that one.
That was far worse than yours.
Yes, it was. We'll figure out a name. I don't know what it'll be, though.
Okay.
Spark will be in the name, though.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. But if you could, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. We got some good conversations this week. You know, we missed last week, so we got to kind of see where we're at on things. I will say Summertime Rendering is as phenomenal as it's always been. Lycoris Recoil is pretty much at its climax. Got 1 episode left with 12 coming out this weekend. And it's actually pretty solid what's happening right now. Did Miss Rent a Girlfriend. Class in their Elite is pretty solid right now as well. We'll check in on Overlord and I guess Dragon Quest.
Yes.
And then we have all of our ratings for the week, of course. Make sure to sign up to our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free $5 a month. We appreciate that. Check out all our sponsors. Link down in the description below. Start turning down the music. We'll start diving into some stuff. Any news that we want to shout out before we really start into? Shout out to the fact that apparently Bleach is going to be divided into 4 parts. Oh, God. And Viz did confirm it's going to be simulcasted, but we still have no idea where.
Yeah.
And that's concerning because there was all those rumors for Disney Plus, which that's only concerning with how Disney Plus handled Summertime Rendering. Is it going to be the same way?
Region lock.
Exactly. So shout out to that. Mashle's going to get its anime cast reveal here very soon at Animeplex. So yeah, shout out to that. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Let me peek over to Twitter, see if I missed anything. You got anything?
I don't think I do.
Nothing this week. Well, oh yeah, we got a new trailer for Spy Family. That looks good. Excited for that. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else off the top. I mean, because the biggest thing is the fact that Bleach is apparently going to be split into 4 parts.
Yeah.
That was really the biggest thing that happened. JJK Volume 0, that's coming soon. Crunchyroll, of course. So looking forward to finally watching that movie.
We still never watched World Mission.
Yeah, we did. We need to watch that at some point, too. Yeah, kind of behind the ball on that one, aren't we?
Just a little.
Yeah.
Considering it came out. I can now buy it in the Microsoft Store.
Yeah, true. I did see this from a couple hours ago. Ruri Dragon, which is just starting Shonen Jump not long ago.
Yeah.
There is still no confirmation on when it's coming back.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yep, still.
Because I know a lot of people really liked it.
Yep, still on its indefinite hiatus due to the creator's health. That was confirmed here just recently. So, obviously, big T's and P's there. Very unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything else off the top of my head. Nothing that we won't chat about here in this episode, of course. So let's go ahead and dive into some stuff then. Zach, do you want us to kick us off with Overlord? How was Overlord? You're at the end of the season, right? Is this only 12 episode season or is this 24?
Usually it's only 12 or 13, but usually 12.
All right, so you're pretty much coming up to the climax of this season.
Yeah.
How's it going? How we doing?
I mean, it's good. We've come full circle now. Had a reveal of that there was a person with a special suit, which was originally from just the game, and more or less Ainz goes, all right, we discovered that. Let's go off the Empire. And we have a whole nice setup and meeting of the criminal group he took under. He rescues all them, leaves them in the forest. Then he has a nice standoff. No, we don't. We also have a meeting of two groups of Adamantian class adventurers, Blue Rose and Red Tier is what they were called. And that was the group with the mecha guy who had the Gundam suit get offered by the Theocracy, the last kingdom.
The fucking Gundam suit.
Yeah. Their special Black Scripture group, which is their apparently hidden, we're going to kill you now, a group, offering them to join up with them to fight Ainz. And we also found out that the leader of the Red Tier is sort of a man whore. Because they roll up to the meeting place, he's shirtless with 2 women just all up on him, and him grabbing up on all of them and everything. It's like, okay, cool. Have that little meeting. Blue Rose says they're not going to join that group. Red Tier says he will. Theocracy pieces out. They have their goodbye. And then we have a nice standoff between the Empire and Ainz. And we have a nice little meeting between Ainz and the Prince of the Kingdom. Yeah, it's Kingdom, not Empire. Where they have a nice little talk at the table of just each of their own views of how Ainz is trying to look for happiness and everything, and that he's sees nothing wrong with destroying other people's happiness to bring happiness to himself and the people he cares about. And he's just like, would you not do the same if you had the chance? And just the two of them interacting and sort of getting respect for each other. Only for the prince to go back to his camp and tell the people to get ready. Negotiations fell. And for the nobles to run into his tent and kill him. And then present his head to Ainz for only Ainz to more or less forsake the people. It's just like, that's what these noblemen do to a prince who was very honestly trying to look out for his people and whatnot. Because all they asked him was they don't kill them and their families. He went, sure, I won't do that. He sends them to his torture and is done. He's like, don't kill them. Make them suffer. Make them suffer. Oh, and like it went hard on that of how he felt about what they did.
Right.
And then he just proceeds, well, it didn't actually show it, but more or less left it at he went and murdered the rest of that camp. And then we had a nice little showdown between Ainz and Albedo and the Gundam suit and another suit of armor with a bunch of weapons. And more or less, Ainz more or less having this fight with this suit of armor and trying to recruit them as a subordinate, realizing that the suit of armor and all the weapons are being controlled from far away. Have that fight, finishes up with Ainz still offering him, saying, like, wasn't seriously fighting you. I just wanted you to join me. I would have coming in, stopping it, and the guy piecing out. Only us to show that it's a dragon that was fighting him and was trying to figure out whether he was a player or NPC. so the dragon has some sort of awareness of that there may be other people who came from the game or that were players. And then it also reveals at the end of it wasn't actually Ainz fighting him, it was Pandora's mask who can turn into people and shapeshift into people who's fighting him, and Ainz just used him as a ploy to drag the person out to find out who they were and thinking that they might have been a player.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of how that episode ends, right before setting up for the final assault on the capital of the kingdom.
Okay. Sounds like a pretty good time.
Yeah, it was really good. Well done. With all the espionage, nice little discussion. A good portion of it was mainly a discussion with him and the prince, and then the fight.
Right. Well, for Lycoris Recoil, we're now like reaching our climax of stuff, right? So I watched 10 and 11 back to back yesterday, and it was a pretty fun experience, like with where these characters are and seeing Green Hair Kirito's plan really come into fruition here.
Mm-hmm.
Because so it all comes back to that arms deal, right? From the very first episode. Obviously, that's been the whole plot point of this whole series in terms of the series plot point. You know, with where we are now, obviously, Chiseto, she's dying. I mean, that's clear. We know that. So, like, Lycoris Recoil, that's the cafe. That's basically, like, her headquarters, essentially. Like, it exists because of her. It's basically being shut down because she's dying. You know what I mean? All the characters are now going their separate ways. Takina's now gone back to the DA. The hacker girl. I never remember her name, but she was the one in the squirrel outfit.
Wasn't that her?
Walnut. Walnut
Okay.
was her hacking name. She's going her separate way. The other chick's going her separate way. Mika, who's like the teacher. And Chiseto's sensei, whatever. He's just gonna kind of go his separate way too, whatever. Kind of a somber, like Debbie Downer moment. And you now get to find out in these episodes what Green Hair Kirito's plan was with that arms deal, to cause chaos. He basically left guns all over the city. Because keep in mind, like, the guns, he got a stupid amount of firearms in that gun steal, and everyone's trying to figure out why. And he,
then he did his impression of Oprah when you get a gun, you get a gun, you get a gun.
Yes. So he has his hacker hack into the TV monitor system, so he's like broadcasting himself all over Japan. He's just like, look under here, look under there. You'll see a guy at a park look under a bench, find a bag with a gun in it. And a cop's just like, whoa, man, put that gun down. And actually. And it's so stupid in that particular moment, that situation where the guy's just like, and he's sitting down and he almost like kind of like falls and accidentally shoots the gun. It's almost as stupid as like in Halloween Kills, there was the chick, the nurse chick with the gun walking up to the car shooting Michael. Michael just kicks the door and the gun flings back and shoots herself. It's that level of stupid where he's literally sitting down, he's like scared and freaks out, he's like, and like just shoots himself or shoots the cop, whatever. But like, that's Green Hair Kirito's plan, is to cause chaos. He wants everyone to have guns and go wild and have chaos, but his other plan is to reveal to the world what Lycoris is, because it's a hidden thing. Like, no one knows that there are these teenage girls that are actually fucking well-trained spies and assassins and agents and whatever, and he wants to reveal that to the world. So, like, you see, like, one of the head leaders of the government, contact the leader of Lycoris, just like, oh, you need to fucking send Chiseto in right now. She's the one you need, even though they already tried that. Chiseto turned her down, obviously. And the boss of the Lycoris is like, don't worry, it's going to remain a secret what the Lycoris is, whatever. We already shut down his stream. We're good. We'll take care of this. And she did end up trying to call, Chiseto. It's just like, hey, we got to summon you, whatever. And, in that moment, Mika's the one on the phone talking. There was a pretty nice little moment there with Mika and Chiseto before that call happened where, again, Chiseto's dying, right? So, he gives her like a coming of age kimono, because she's at that age where she would get it, right?
Yeah.
Just as like, she's getting a little early because obviously she's dying again. And this is a moment where Chiseto's still being like super lighthearted and upbeat, and it's just like, oh, Dawn looks so great, whatever. And Mika is just like very clearly distraught about something, and you now get the moment where he reveals to her the secret that he's kept all this time between him and Shinji, who is the one, the doctor that performed the surgery on Chiseto, which also I guess would be, with how it was alluded to, it never like firmly like said like, yes, this is what. I guess his love interest. You know,
Gotcha.
it very hard alluded to that Mika and Shinji, you know, were dating.
thing.
Yeah, a thing at some point. Well, anyway, so Mika finally reveals to Chiseto the truth of her purpose. That, you know, Mika went to Shinji to, you know, who's with the Allen Institute, of course, to save Chiseto's life. His one condition is that he wanted Mika to train Chiseto to be the world's greatest hitman. And the reason why he kept that a
They
secret,
got the wrong teacher.
right? Exactly. You know, I mean, obviously she was trained well, but you know, he never revealed that part to her because she admired Shinji so much for saving her life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, dubbed him Mr. Savior, and you know, became her mission of not taking someone else's life. Right? That's why she uses the fake bullets. You know, she wants to emulate what, you know, he did for her. You know, because she was a little kid, so he's just like lied to her that, oh, he's the Mr. Savior that's gonna save her or whatever. So like, Mika never wanted to reveal the truth that like you were actually saved for the purpose of killing people. And, you know, he was just like in a mode of like, should I have told you the truth or not? Which then, you know, Chiseto in true protagonist fashion is just like, I'm glad it went the way it did. Because if you would have told me the truth and I would have just been a trained well hitman to murder people, I probably would have learned to resent you and resent Shinji. And I would have never like opened this cafe, you know, and done this and done this and done all these different things in her life that she's proud of and happy with. She's happy how it turned out. And she's like, oh, you two are my dads. I love you guys, whatever. So it was a nice little heartfelt moment there. And then that's when we got the call. Mika's the one on the phone. It's just like, you know, Shito's not available, whatever, because again, she's dying. Like, just fuck off, basically. And at that same time, Shito gets a call, you know, like a video call, which happens to be Shinji tied up and in captive. You know, exactly. So that's when Shito, you know, gets on the phone with them, whatever, kind of getting the breakdown. She's like, oh, we need you to take care of this, and we need you to kill green hair Kirito, whatever. And you see her on both phones right now. The hacker's talking to her. The boss of Lycoris is talking to her, and she, you know, the hacker's just like, don't you fucking say a thing to them. We'll fucking kill them right now if you say a fucking thing. And the boss of Lycoris is like, is someone else there? Shito's like, no one's there. So, you know, Chiseto, you know, now is obviously not responding to the call of Lycoris because now she's going to fly in solo to try to save Shinji, whatever. Which is funny from like episode 10 to 11 because it almost gives you a moment where it's like, oh shit, Mika's about to fucking do something. This old ass man hobbling around with a cane is about to fuck some shit up. He gets like in his old like uniform, whatever. He pulls out a fucking sniper over his rifle's like, oh shit, he's about to go fuck some shit up with shit though. This is about to be dope. They get to the building. He's like, all right, here's the rifle. Have fun. So Shito's flying in solo.
So he was just a caddy. Cool.
Yeah, basically just taking her there. That's all it was. You know, and you know, this is where we are in episode 11 at this point, and you know, and all this is, of course, taking place at that radio tower. You know, Shito was like the savior of the radio tower, like full circle, right? Bringing us back to there. You know, Takina, you know, is in like the bus, whatever. You know, with all the other Lycoris, where they're getting like mission briefs and everything like that, and then they, you know. She then finds out that Shito was called to be deployed, but the boss said, "Oh, she's not responding. You know, she's not gonna do the mission, whatever." She basically said no. You know, Takina tries you know, making some calls or whatever. You know, Takina figures out something's up, essentially ditches everyone else to try to go help out. We get some very sweet action sequences of Shito in the tower just mopping the floor with all these fucking randoms, and then you get the one-on-one between green hair Kirito and Shito. The room is like completely sealed off, so there's zero light. And it's just like, so this is where you get to see green hair Kirito's ability where, you know, Shito is able to read movement so perfectly that she can dodge shots like literally a gun in front of her face. Meanwhile, like green hair Kirito, he has like hypersensitive hearing. So he can perfectly like get around everything in the room by the smallest little sound. And that's basically his enhancement that he got from the Allen Institute as well. So it's a nice little fight between the two of them in here. And then I guess Takina is like super powered Hulk or something because she completely busts through a metal wall. And bust through a metal gate or like a metal like garage door basically into the building. You get a nice little like quick fighting sequence between Takina and Shito and green hair Kirito to finish off the episode. These past few episodes have been pretty solid, leading up to this climax. Because while this is happening, Green Hair Kirito, his plan did succeed, and he was able to reveal to the world of the Lycoris. He was able to like rehack his stream, right, and tell the world, oh yeah, if you see girls with this uniform, they're actually a Lycoris. They're well trained assassin. There's one out in public, and everyone starts looking at her, and she's like, oh fuck. And one of the guys that's looking at her happens to have a brown bag with a gun. He's like, I don't know what to do. So he pulls out his gun. She pulls out his gun. They shoot each other. And everyone's like, oh my God. And meanwhile, while he's doing this, he's like flipping through camera shots, right, of all these like horse and trying to hunt him down.
Yeah.
To prove to the world that, hey, the government's got these like teenage girls and train them to be assassins and shit like that, right? And so his whole plan did succeed in that regard. So I'll be very curious to see what happens in episode 12 with the aftermath of that, as well as what's going to happen in the manga that's going to be coming out. Because again, this is the source material. The manga is coming later, so I will be kind of curious to see like what the world will be like in the aftermath of where everyone knows the Lycoris is a thing, and
it becomes the new police force.
Yeah, it just becomes the new like the bunny heads in Sabuki Bisco, it's something like that. But no, these past few episodes have been really good. I've enjoyed them. So I'll be looking forward to seeing the climax. But I won't be looking forward to seeing this climax as much as I am looking forward to see the climax of Classing the Elite.
Fuck.
Because episode 11 of season 2 of Classing the Elite
it went hard.
It did. The one thing it did so well is that it did so well at making you feel uncomfortable. Yes. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, this is just an unsettling sight.
And they even made it very clear, because even one of the characters was very not okay with this.
Yeah, where she's just like, the moment we find out who the mastermind is, I'm fucking leaving. I'm out. Like, it was a very unsettling situation, and this episode was very big on Ryuen, or Dragon Boy, as he hates being called, trying to really hammer out to figure out who the fuck this mastermind is. I did love the confrontation between him and the other, I don't remember that guy's name, the blonde-haired dude.
I can't think of his name, because this is the first real time we had a whole interaction with him.
Yeah, because he only gets snippets. That's all he ever gets.
There's been intersperses between season 1 and 2 of him just doing things, but this was the first time we really got an actual full discussion with his character, of him being accosted by Ryuen and him just going, "You're looking," and really showing off that he is a lot more aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Than
he lets on.
Yeah. Like, he full well, if he really wanted to, could do what it's peaked at it, is that he could fully well have been in Class A, and may probably even Class B, but he just outright chose to, because he just wants to do what he wants. He doesn't care for the tedious stuff.
Yep.
And like, they even mentioned the event on the ship when they were put in their little groups, because apparently he just outright revealed who it was right at the beginning. We saw that, so he had figured out after one meeting what it was, which was the first clue that he's super smart, and just like. And even he was like, well, what about this time? What, you saying you're not against me? He's like, oh, that was me just experimenting with something. And plus, they got me out of all the tediousness of getting all those meetups.
Yeah. Which, that's such a great thing to point out, because it makes me so curious of how much his character evolves in the light novels.
Yes.
Into basically like seasons 3 and 4 and beyond. Like, how much is his character going to evolve? Where, like, maybe he's like a secret antagonist in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be very curious to see how his character will continue to evolve. Because that was such an interesting, fascinating meetup where even, Ryuen's just like, wow, this guy's like, he's his own level of psycho, but he's a different level than me.
He's psycho. He's just as crazy as me.
But in a different way. Different. Yeah, but in a different way.
Because that was a great stand-up for everyone just going, what if I physically try and stop you? I will end everyone who comes at me.
Yeah. He's like, oh, are you sure about that? He's like, I see no reason not to know for sure. And I'm just like, damn, that was a fucking
there was a lot of very good moments in this episode. Plus, I do want to note one thing from the previous episode of 10, the reveal of Ayano Koji meeting his father.
Yep.
And him getting the realization of the teacher didn't actually know his father. It has nothing to do with his father.
Yep.
And him just getting that nice opening for episode 11 and ending of 10 of him calling, not Kamoshida. I forget her name.
Always forget her name.
Kay.
Yeah, we'll just call her.
Kay's her first name.
Okay.
Or no, it's her last name. And him just calling her and apologizing to her for the things he's had her do out of her way, and him just going, I've lost my motivation, so I'm just going to stop now. And just also seeing that sort of her, because she's slowly getting these feelings for Ayano Koji, and
But
just
she's like, huh?
and
What?
just how much it's definitely hurt her with him just saying he was going to stop contacting her, and we get to see
Karuizawa.
Karuizawa K.
Yep.
Yeah. And then this episode, the second half of it,
Man.
and fucking Ruin sending out the bait, bringing her to a
Yep.
fucking freezer somewhere, black spray painting all the cameras and whatnot,
Yep.
and just friggin' like it was rough. Him just first they get her there, then they manhandle her and zip tie her hands together,
Yep.
strip her of her
Coat.
and then in this freezer when he's questioning her, saying, "Okay," starts pulling liters or gallons of water on her while she's in the freezer.
Man.
And just how much she definitely cared for Ayano Koji. She's just suffering.
Yep.
She's just straight suffering.
They put like a bag over at one point and keeps pouring.
Oh yeah,
water.
no, they water throwing her a rag on her.
Yep.
And then just that over her face and pouring water over her face to give
Like I
induce
said,
drowning.
it made you very uncomfortable. It was a very uncomfortable episode.
And it really hits it because towards the end there, where it's like showing it off and it switched to Ayano Koji for a moment and him hanging out with his group now, and
Yep.
them just going to do whatever, go to karaoke. Then it switches back to Ryuen dragging Karuizawa away. It's like, for my own pleasure, I'm going to destroy her.
Yeah, and that the episode ending with that. So man, I am so just all over the place with how this season's gonna end.
'Cause
I think 12 is. I don't think it's 13.
I'm pretty sure it's 12.
Let me fact check. I think it's 12 as well.
Because there's only two ways, one of two ways it's going to end. It's either Ryuen's going to be allowed to absolutely destroy Kei, and she's going to be in a vegetative state, and we're going to get the next part, which is going to be Ayano Koji doing some shit and getting some...
13.
Oh, it is a 13.
So we got 2 more. Oh man.
So we may get both.
Yeah, we may get both.
Well,
if it was 12, it was probably going to end with setting up for the destruction of
If it's-
Anakoji. But yeah, 13 episodes.
If it's 13, Karuizawa's going to suffer. I do not see this ending well for her.
Yeah. Oh god. But like, I feel like it going to 13 could also set up for Anakoji doing something, right?
Yes, it very much too, but in the end, I feel like Karuizawa's going to suffer a lot. Because I don't, based on her character, she might break, but I don't think she will.
Right.
And it brings the question of if someone's going to notice that she wasn't there and they're going to bring it to Ayano Koji.
Oh man, 2 episodes left.
Because-
I thought it was 12, man. We're in for a lot these next 2 episodes.
Because it's either she's going to suffer and then Ayano Koji's going to find out, or because it did get the red herring at 10. I don't know if it said in 11, at the beginning of 11, but at 10 where he says, if you ever get in trouble, call me and I'll still fulfill my promise.
Right. Oh man, and you know what? I also just realized I just looked at the calendar. By the time it ends, I'll be on vacation. It would be the
Oof.
week that we'd be talking about the ending.
Oof.
I know, big sad. I will be in another state. Rip. We'll see if we can do something. Probably not, but
Probably
I'll see if I can do something. But man, God, I'm pumped for these next couple episodes.
Oh, they're going to be good.
Yeah, they're gonna be very, very good.
And it's still funny. You weren't feeling the series at first.
It took me like 5-6 episodes to really get into it. What really got me into it was Anakoji. Anakoji, man. I just like his character. He's entertaining. That's what got me into it. And I've been hooked ever since. So, no, very good episode this week, man. Like I said, it just did very well at make you feel comfortable. The last episode meeting with his dad, just losing all motivation where he just wants to completely just like fuck off and vibe now. Very excited to see how these last couple episodes go, as well as what's going to happen for future seasons. Because again, like what we were pointing out with that one dude, the blonde haired dude, it's just like, you know, very clearly revealing that he's very aware of what's going on, and probably safely assuming he's very aware who the mastermind is.
Oh, yeah. From that interaction,
Yeah.
he knows all the players and all the pieces.
Oh yeah, he knows every single bit.
Because
Of it.
he even straight up said, because like when Ruin straight up asked him, do you know who the mastermind is? Like, why would I deprive you of the fun?
Exactly.
And pieces out
Yep.
to go on his date.
Yeah. Just in that single interaction alone, that dude shot up very high for my favorite characters list.
Yes.
Because before that, you know, we got so little interactions. The only interaction you got is this guy's a pompous asshole.
Yeah, he was just an egotist.
Exactly. But now after that single interaction, I'm like, I fucking like this guy. Hopefully he doesn't break my heart later.
His character, just that one interaction, in which that's such a great build up for that character alone.
Yeah.
Because just that one interaction gave us so much,
Right.
plus the few interspersed here and there.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped to explore his character more. Pumped for the rest of the season. All right. What's going on in Dragon Quest?
So everyone's getting their shit tossed.
Good.
Um,
They deserve it.
Dark King Vern has literally been turning people into magical Pokeballs.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
So you know how Majin Buu can turn people into treats when they're weak enough?
Yeah.
So Dark King Vern can do the same thing, and he just encases them in a crystal ball where they can still hear and see everything, but they can't do anything.
Okay.
So as everyone starts getting weaker and falling, a little gem in his forehead zaps them and turns them into crystal balls.
So that's probably where Majin Buu came from.
So yeah, every time they're fighting, I'm just like, oh look, he's becoming the very best, the best there ever was. Because like yeah, the entire cast is now in crystal balls besides Dai and Pop.
Naturally.
Yes, and it was more or less a buildup of everyone was down on their luck, just like we're so weak, how can we defeat Vern? And this is why after what's his name? Avon was turned to Pop, was just like, you're the only one who can do this, Pop. Only the one who's been with Dai from the very beginning of this journey, this fight, can lead him to be able to give him the power to strike down Vern, because he's the only one who can strike down Vern. None of us else can do it. And then he gets put into a Pokeball. After that, it's just him, Hadlar's finally dead. After him saving, after saving Avon from the with his ashes, him, Ladheart, Dai, and Pop are the only ones left, and they try and do something. Dark King Vern throws their ship, and Pop gets up. He's like, Avon's right, and goes full Sherlock Holmes and just like, Dark King Vern can't do anything to us like that in that stance. That's solely for countering. When he's in that stance, we don't have to. He can't attack us. It's solely it's a stance for him to charge up all his 3 attacks because they take so much energy and all that stuff. And King Vern's like, well, shit. Avon was right. There was someone still smart. Look at that. But nothing's stopping me from attacking. Smacks the shit out of all of them. Bob going, damn, my plan's gonna fail. It's like, Ladheart, him. Give me your lives. And I'm going, what? And then he explains, my plan's literally this. We're going to take all his attacks so Dai can hit him. Seriously? Yeah. And then Vern's just like, well, I'm going to kill you all with this Calamity Wave, but I'm going to make it slower so y'all can really chew on y'all's fear. Throws it out. Him and Ladheart have a moment just like, fine. Well, we trust you, Pop. We'll do this. Him straight up grabs the swell of energy and rips it the fuck apart. Ladheart's just like, I finally gained respect for you. Charges with him. They go and attack. They take 2 attacks, find a moment where Pop shoots off Meteora, and it's just like, ha, I did it. You don't get it, King Vern. I just did it all to show Dai timing. Sure, cool, you got the timing. Let's do this. And he's just like, it's like, all right. The other 2 get put into Pokeballs because they got smacked away.
Right.
They're in Pokeballs now. Then then King Vern and Pop have a fucking mental battle. I'm just like, well, I have 3 attacks and you're only charging 2. So this is how it's going to go. It's like, oh, really? We'll see how that goes. Dai, charge up. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this bitch. Pop does his little attack. Vern does his thing. It's like, it's just as I told you it was going to be. Now die, Pop. Hits him with a supercharged explosion and Phoenix, and we have a moment like, ha ha ha, what's going on? Underneath his clothes, Pop had fucking big brain Vern, and he put the fucking shield the horse chest piece had, which reflects all magic, regardless of what it is, on his body, underneath his clothing, that Vern has just hit, and has now been reflected at Vern, and him smiling, gotcha! And then it ends.
It's like a nice mirror force.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or a magic cylinder.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I activate my trap card.
Pretty much.
You activated my trap card, you fool.
Yes.
Oh, God. At least we're almost done.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Well, then you got the video game to play. You got to play the video game.
I mean, if you buy it, sure, I'm not buying
and
it.
then you have to talk about it from a full review once you beat it on Game Static.
I mean, sure.
So make sure to check out youtube.com/Sparky3 every Saturday around 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. We go live for Game Static. Shout out to that. And you can hear Zach talk about Dragon Quest over there too.
I bet the game will be much better than the series.
It probably will. It probably will.
I don't know. Still, one of my best quotes from the series is when Pop goes on his whole thing of like, I'm not used to people counting on me. I like doing my thing, then getting thrown on the floor. I'm okay with that.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So last up, Summertime Rendering, episode 22. This show is wrapping up in beautiful fashion. I'm very pumped to watch these last 3 episodes. It is going to 25. And also, Lycoris Recoil is going to 13, not 12. So we got a couple more episodes of that, too. Okay, so...
Which we won't review. Because it'll be when you're on vacation.
Actually, okay, so I actually brain farted on that. I looked at the calendar again, right, while you were talking. September 28th.
So we would be doing
That Wednesday, we would be able to get Class in the Elite ending if you watch it like that Tuesday, like I will. We'll watch it that Tuesday, and we'll get to have Lycoris Recoil ending as well.
Gotcha.
Now, the ending of Summertime is literally the Friday I leave.
Okay, that one's screwed.
Yeah, I'll have to just lead off the next episode when I come back with, hey, Summertime Rendering was fucking phenomenal. 10 out of 10, peak series, baby. Here we go. Because I imagine the ending is going to be absolute peak. So these last 2 episodes have been pretty solid, especially, really both of them. I mean, right now we're we're at the climax, okay? We are at the final stage of everything about to go down. Obviously 3 episodes left with where they are. This is it. This is it. This is the final battle. So that's pretty dope. So when it comes to that whole shell thing, that it scared off, Shide and, Heine, whatever, they thought was Urshro still,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing. Okay, so no, she's dead as shit. All right, she's 1,000% dead. That version of her. So basically, in that last moment, she went big brain play, right? And in that shell, her last ditch effort to try to stay alive, and just simply hoping that Shinpei is going to be smart enough to realize this, because he is, obviously very clearly intelligent, as we've seen throughout the series. Everything that has happened up until that point, she inserted all of her memories into that shell. So she is dead. That shell is not her. It is simply just her memories. And the reason she did this is when it comes to Summertime Rendering, right? And all these different, the time looping and the different loops and stuff. It's not like a multiverse thing, right? It's all the same timeline that's going to potentially end in a different way. But it's not like, every universe is going to be different, essentially. Like, completely different from the beginning. It has its set line that it's going to go down, in theory, unless something happens, okay? So with that said, her big brain play is, every time he loops, if you get technical, there's another Urshro in the ocean right now, ready to wake up on the day of the festival, where he first met Urshro to begin with. That's the big brain play that she's hoping that Shinpei can acknowledge. Because in that moment, that Urshro in that timeline, at that moment, that one's dead. But, every time they've looped, technically there was a second Urshro. Because when he started looping with Urshro, bringing that Urshro with him, there was technically 2 of her the entire time. He just
took that timeline Urshro.
Yes, so he went to go find the Urshro that's currently in the ocean that was set to wake up on the shore or whatever. So he went to go find her, and when they find her, she's very blatantly confused on what the fuck is happening. That Shinpei's even there. She has no idea she's a shadow. Back to blank slate. Then he gives her the shell and remembers everything, and it's time to throw down. I will say when she wakes up, it's really funny because her, that shadow of her is just flowing through the ocean. There's tides and shit like that. So she's kind of going all over the place. So Shinpei is going to get her in Gil's body. Gil's one of the big babies. The other baby already got killed and fucked up in the fight at the beach. So there's only one of the babies left that Toiko has. So Shinpei is inside the baby, like an armor, kind of like Shide has for his armor, right?
Okay.
And you just see him flying through the ocean, swimming at high, fast speeds. Shide realizes what they're trying to do and starts going after them as well. Whenever Urshro wakes up, she screams, "What in blue blazes?" And I don't know why, but that just made me fucking laugh my ass off. But whenever she ends up waking up, she completely fucks up all the stuff that Shida has all around her and just is ready to go to town. They're kind of like standing on top of Gil's body, you know, in the middle of the ocean. Shida is kind of floating, you know, half of his armor is now destroyed, where you see like his human arm and stuff. And he's like, huh, that's weird. You know, the armor's being destroyed. Huh, how about that? That's kind of scary. I might be fucked. But, you know, Ursho's ready to fucking throw down. She's ready to go. And she runs like full speed, ready to fucking destroy this dude, and Shadow Mio pops out of nowhere and just completely stops her and pulls her back. It's just like, you know, kind of like, you know, they touch heads, whatever, to transfer memories still, you know, and Ursula's like, really? That's the plan? It's like, damn, Shinpei, you're a fucking genius, you know, and whenever, you know, he's, you know, she kind of steps back, whatever, you know, and like in the moment, it's just like, what the hell does he mean? And you get to find out later in the episode what exactly he means, where he asks Shide, he's like, hey, Shide, where do you think I came from just now? And he's just like, what do you mean? He's like, see ya, man, and just shoots himself right there to start another loop. So whenever he starts the next loop, he had it all planned out perfectly based on the timing of when the loop would occur and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He is currently in the cave where Heine's body actually is. So whenever they come back in this loop, and Shide and like, you know, Heine and like, you know, she's still in Shinpei's form, whatever, up at the festival, you know, Heine realizes, shit, the motherfucker looped, you know, because they've now come to a realization, you know, that, you know, he's marked, of course, as we already know, but if he's in Gil's body, you know, that baby form, another shadow, essentially, it kind of blocks that ability to track him. And he figured that out. So like this, you know, he's in the cave and they don't realize it. So when they come back into, you know, that loop, they realize, shit, they're in the cave right now, aren't they? You know, so that now we're starting to set up for the big finale, the big fight, you know, working their way through the cave to get to Heine's body, which they do successfully do so. They end up breaking through like this barrier, which is essentially still part of her actual body. Break through that. Yeah, you get some nice fighting sequences between like Shide as well as like Urshiro and the others, and you know, Shinpei now being able to actually fight back, because keep in mind Renosuke is with him. So with Renosuke's ability, you know, where he can see like 2 seconds ahead, whatever, you know, he's able to dodge shots, dodge this, do this, and he actually, you know, he can fight shadows now, is the best way to put it. You know, Heine ends up getting pinned down because, you know, she's thinking that she's super smart and outsmarting, and once she goes up here, it's like, oh, I sense, you know, the shadow, you know, nail gun there or whatever, the copy, right? She's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck Sao up there. So she goes up, attacks it, and you know, there's the shadow nail gun. She's like, haha, fuck you. And then she gets pinned down by a bunch of nails, because Sal's still, they happen to have the original nail gun, so it's all real. She can't sense that shit. So she's now pinned down. You know, you see her face to start splattering with blood. Real gruesome sight. Super cool. You know, in this fight as well, it comes to a point where like Urshiro is basically going to attack Heine head on, where it's just like, you know, I know that you're a little girl who just wants to be with her family forever and wants to live in like eternity and peace, and that's ultimately what she wants, you know. And you know, basically in a quick moment, you're getting this sense of like, okay, are we about to have trademark anime, like, okay, we're gonna forgive the bad guy and try to turn them good, sort of thing, you know, that trademark sort of trope. And then Ursula's just like, but the feeling's not mutual, and Ursula just goes like straight up, ready to fucking brutally myrtleize, you know, Heine. Heine, you know, is like crying and screams stop, and you know, Ursula doesn't attack Heine directly, but she attacks like the wall directly behind her, which is still part of Heine's body. Yeah. So she completely shatters that, you see the armor, Shide's armor, completely disappear, right? So now he's back to normal human form. Then gets a nice knife right in the top of his head from Mio. So in theory, Shide is dead right now. They've killed his makeshift body that he created, his copy body, very quickly earlier on. You know, it's nothing super notable. They've in theory killed the main body. So it's like, okay, all should be good in the world, right? Nope. Shide starts coming back. Everyone's like, okay, what's happening? Because like once they attack that body and believe this is it, Heine's dead. Like Mio even says, all right, bye Shinpei, bye everyone. And then Mio does disappear. Mio's like, wait a minute, no, me and Ursula are still here. You know, Mother's still alive. Like, you know, this isn't over. So you start to see Shide, basically a new form of Shide start to form up in there, like a really humongous one, kind of like bust out from the wall and stuff.
Third phase,
basically. But then also like the plot twist where this episode ends is like, you know, for Heine, Shinpei's eye, that was Heine's eye that allows him time travel, has now turned red, which is Heine's eye colors. And one of Urshiro's eye colors has now turned red. So that's where the episode ends.
Okay.
So you can only assume that somehow Heine is now within both of their bodies in some form, trying to maybe take over both of their bodies at the same time. Don't know. We'll find that out next episode. But either way, it was super hype these past couple episodes. Very much enjoyed them.
I don't know why you saying that. You know what the Wonder Twins is?
The what? The one?
The Wonder Twins.
Yes, I do.
All I could think was at the power of a little girl.
Yeah, exactly. basically. So, yeah, looking forward to these next few episodes, man. Summertime Rendering has been such a fucking treat. Like, I love this show so much. It's so damn good. Favorite episode of the week?
Classroom of the Elite.
I'll give it Classroom of the Elite. While Summertime was awesome, Classroom of the Elite really brought out some emotions
Was
in me.
done so well. Episode
It was.
11 was just peak
It
just
was.
direction
It
and
was.
choicing of shots and everything for the all the way around.
Man, I loved it. All right, let's get into chapter ratings for the week then. Wrap up the show beautifully because I have some leftover pasta right now that is calling my name. And Thursday Night Football, too. Shout out to Chargers and Chiefs. It's going to be a good game, I think. All right, so kicking things off with One Piece 1059. I would give this one a 9. I really enjoyed this chapter. This chapter really made me laugh, man. So, I don't feel like it's super spoilers. Nothing really massive happened. So Blackbeard, people can already figure out what one of Blackbeard's goals is: try to get more devil fruits. He already stole, Whitebeard's fruit. So obviously you would assume he'd want more. That is correct. He does want more. He was trying to go steal Boa's fruit of all of them. I don't know how the fuck he's going to use it, but that's what he was trying to steal. So he goes to Amazon Lily, right, and is attempting to steal that fruit. Rayleigh shows up.
Yo, Rayleigh.
Yep. And in just a single panel, a single page of Rayleigh showing up,
Lays the smackdown.
Blackbeard being like, "Oh God," Bo was like, "Oh, Rayleigh, you're here." And someone else, it was Kobe. Was just like, "That's Silver's Rayleigh in the flesh," like fangirling.
Yeah.
You have that page, and Rayleigh's just like, "Don't worry, I'll mediate this situation." And if you can leave the island peacefully, whatever. Fast forward to the next page. The first panel on the next page is after Blackbeard left, and everyone is chilling. So as soon as he shows up, Blackbeard's like, "Deuce." That gif of the guy putting the deuce and disappearing. That was Blackbeard.
Blackbeard, Rayleigh, fuck this.
Basically, and Rayleigh's just like, "All right, the Pirate King's cabin boy over here, thinking that he's hot shit." Basically, so it was a very enjoyable chapter. I really enjoyed this one. My hero was on a break this week. Black Clover 337.
We cannot leave Wano. That's everything I saw in the comments was everyone's like,
"We can't leave Wano."
Wano's pulling us back in. Stop. No.
Hey, I don't think this is a bad thing, though. And honestly, even though we know it's in the final arc, it really kind of opens the world up more.
I mean, it does. And I'm very honestly surprised that they...
I'm surprised we didn't do this sooner.
Yeah, I'm honestly, because it's not really a spoiler, just to let people know, it finally introduces us to Black Bull Captain's... Yami's... Homeland, which... I honestly thought we were never going to see it. I thought it was just
it's a
reference
thing. That's it.
to his events and whatnot. It was never going to be a thing. So the fact that they're using it is actually very interesting.
Yeah. JJK 1. Oh, wait, what would you rate it? Sorry.
8.
You got 8 as well. JJK 197.
Have you caught up on this?
No.
You're missing some ridiculous shit.
Is it good, though? If it's good, I'll actually try to catch up finally.
It's good in a way because, it's still the ridiculousness that is JJK lately, but it's just peak weirdness is just I'm okay with this.
Okay. I might try to catch up then.
But I would give it overall an 8.
Mishio's Core Family 145. These last couple chapters have not hit for me. I'll give this one, I think, a 6. Undead Unluck 126. This was good, though. I'd give this one a 9. Undead Unluck is fucking hitting right now.
Nice.
It is good right now. Mashle 123.
I'll give it a 9.
I give it a 9 as well. Love that ending. That ending was funny.
That was great.
That ending was so funny. I loved it.
I always carry my sister. Suplex.
Yeah. Sakamoto Day is 86. Yeah, I give it a 6. These past couple chapters have not hit with me.
I'll give it an 8. I like the development of the characters.
That's fair. Elusive Samurai 77.
I give it an 8. It was a chapter.
Still got to catch up to this one too. Blue Box 68.
I'm not sure what we're doing here. Are we making it a square? Because it looks like we're making it a square.
We're making it a square.
I give it a 9 just for Chie's reaction of just, she keeps seeing the spider. So her natural reaction, instead of emitting what she's seeing, she goes and buys insect repellent.
Yeah. I'll give it a 9 as well. P6, 48.
I give it an 8.
Akane-Banashi, 29.
8.
So before we move on from Weekly Shonen Jump, I want to shout this out because it's been sitting there in my recently read stuff for like forever because like, you know, it just automatically pops stuff up there based on what you're reading. A new chapter comes out. It has been sitting there forever and I have not touched it. And what I'm referring to is that extra chapter of Dr. Stone that was released after the manga ended. I finally read it and I fucking hate this series so much. I fucking hate this series so much. I really do. Like,
what was it about?
Okay, so, you know, we had all the stuff like in space, right?
Yeah.
That's how the series essentially ended and everything like that. I'm trying to let me actually pull it up real quick, do a quick refresher. So basically what happened in this chapter, in just the dumbest fucking shit possible, is like once they kind of got back out from space, Senku woke up in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
And all he's got is like a little tube floaty. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm probably going to get fucked. I need to try to figure out how to get out of the ocean, you know? And he's just like, all right, time for some terraforming. He's just like, so what if I'm lost at sea? Just going to start from scratch again. And that gets me excited. So like literally, like I'll show you this, like literally in the middle of the ocean, just him, just a little tube floaty. That's it. That's it. And he turns this fucking thing around and gets a fucking massive ass ship to get back home. What the fuck, man? He ends up finding Kohaku's statue. Oh, whatever. Ends up finding her statue as well, using the last bit of revolver fluid to kind of bring her back. Which also, I guess this happened like off screen, obviously. Okay. This was not from the space stuff. I remember now. Okay, so it was after Taiju and the other chick, I forgot her name. You know, the girl Taiju likes.
Yeah.
They got married.
Oh.
So they were going off on like, like celebrating for their honeymoon and stuff, and they were in a fucking jet that they made, and there was a crash. That's what happened. The jet got electrocuted. Everyone was fucking falling from the jet. That's what happened. That's how they got in the middle of the ocean. And they petrified themselves to save themselves.
Gotcha.
So that's what happened to get us to where we are.
Petrification's also bullshit in this series.
It's complete and utter bullshit. So also with this, one thing that was acknowledged that happened, I guess, obviously, since the series ended to this, is that when he revives Kohaku, right? And, she hugs him, whatever, and blah, blah. There are these lines where it's like, Senku, I know for a fact that you could have hauled me around as a statue. That would have been the easiest way to keep me alive. He says, yep. And she says, yet you revive me as someone to share the risk and help push forward as your partner.
Oh.
Yeah, so Senku finally got with someone. If I'm reading those,
that's
vibes
just
right,
low key. The author being like, yeah, no, they're a thing.
Yeah, so it's either flat out like, oh yeah, they're a thing, or that's just saying like as your partner in crime sort of thing, like as a friend. I'm assuming it's,
or
a
maybe
thing.
you're reading too much into this.
I might be reading too much into this, but the bottom line is we keep on going. They build a raft, they fucking revive other people, and Senku catches a lightning bolt on his finger. I don't know what is happening here, man. Diving under the ocean, getting more stuff, preparing for the ship, reviving more people. Just a series of people getting revived to help out. You see Dr. Zeno, trying to figure things out, and then all of a sudden there's a ship going home.
Yeah, no, this series is very bad at
It
time,
started off so good
at spacing time because it gives no real context of how much time has passed most of the time.
Yeah, and then whenever they get back, right? Here's exactly what Senku says. With semiconductors in hand, it'll be a scientific creating whatever. Our next mission involves, here we go, terraforming other planets to construct cities in space. They're going to build cities in space. I hate this fucking series. This series fell off the map for me. Horrible. And I think about it, I probably just fucked this series for so many people that only watch the anime. But you know what? For once, I don't feel bad. I'm doing you a favor. Don't continue this series. It is bad.
I mean, I'll watch one episode of it when it introduces my spirit animal.
That's true.
That's the only thing I got for the series.
For that particular chapter, giving it a 0. It was terrible. Chainsaw Man 104.
I enjoyed the title of this chapter. Spoiler.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. I give it a 9.
I'll give it an 8.
Kaiju number 8, chapter 70. I didn't get to read this one.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay. Tokyo Avengers 269. What a twist.
What a fucking twist.
What a twist this backstory's going, man.
The fucking everyone going. There's a second one. There's a second one. Oh, there's not a second one. But there is a second one.
There was a second one all along.
And we're like, what?
Yeah. Original timeline.
10.
I give it a 10 from you. Holy shit.
Because it was just
I think that's the third time that's ever happened.
it was just straight out of nowhere. It's such a great twist.
You know what's funny about Zach giving this a 10 is I just went on my rant. I very distinctly remember another 10 you gave was actually Dr. Stone.
Did I?
Yeah. When it was before the time skip. All that stuff with the jungle that was happening. That was hype shit. Me, you, and Josh all gave a chapter a 10. I don't know what chapter, but me, you, and Josh all gave one particular chapter a 10. Because that was hype shit.
I might have given it a 10. I don't remember.
Yeah. So I think this is like the third 10 ever. Wow, what a wild day. You know, just for that, I'll give it a 10 too. Why not?
I mean, it's such a great twist out of nowhere.
It was. I mean, I agree. As someone who loves this character to death, yes, it was. Rent a Girlfriend 251. I'd give this one a 9. Very good chapter as well. Eden 0207. Did you read it? I'd give this one probably like an 8 or a 7. I'd go 7. I think 7.
I'll go 7.
7 Deadly Sins, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse, chapter 77. I'd give this one probably a 9. Very good chapter. Very excited because, like, you know, it ended a couple chapters ago with Tristan using his demon powers. And it kind of detailed it in 76 where it's just like, you know, the price of using these powers is that he literally can't control it. And like, you know, because everyone's like, okay, Tristan, you can turn off the powers now because he's just like, he's brutalizing this fucking demon. Even to the point where she's like, oh, please, you know, spare me. No more, no more. He's like, okay. And she's like, oh, thank God. And he just rips her in half. And she's like, I thought you said you were done. He's like, I told you, I can't control myself. It kind of reminds me because I've recently been on a Dragon Ball Z abridged binge, whatever,
Yeah.
where it's just like, it was like the episode of Bardock. It's just like, you know, Bardock, you know, he catches Child's fist and he's just like, please don't break my butt. And Bardock's like, okay. And Child is like, truly? And Bardock's like, no. And just starts beating him into the ground. Same thing here, man. So Tristan's like completely just brutalizing right now. And then we get the appearance of our antagonist. Arthur himself has now come down, wanting to come fight Tristan because he's curious of his powers. And it's like, it's so funny watching Arthur come down because he's like still like a same, like almost lighthearted Arthur, but very clearly sick and twisted. You know what I mean? Where like, you know, this is Percival's first time seeing Arthur. So
Gotcha.
his first mindset is, you're the reason my grandfather is dead. Fuck you. And Percival goes charging full speed to attack. And Arthur's like, oh, you must be Ironside's grandson. That's so cool. And then Arthur just slaps him in the side. He's like, will you calm down with that for the moment, please? Just completely fucks him to the side. But then as he's about to start fighting Tristan, the boy is back. Meliodas steps in. Next chapter, we're about to have a throwdown between Meliodas and Arthur. And I'm here for it. It's going to be great, dude. So I give this one a 9. It's a very good chapter. So Unordinary had a break this week. Next up is True Beauty 223. The series finale. You know, the vibes were there.
Yeah.
You know,
I know you said something about it.
The vibes were there. And the one, I'll give this one a 10, actually. I'll give this one a 10. 2 10s the same episode. Wow. I'll give this one a 10, man, because like this was a true happy ending from a series that had so much like traumatic things happen to various characters. Like some pretty serious things happened to various characters, ranging from like, you know, abusive relationships, just the stuff that our main character went through, the stress and anxiety that Seojin went through and everything. Like there was so much in this series of just like a traumatic things happening to various characters. And for this, the one single chapter, it was a pretty long chapter, really did well tying up so many knots of so many characters and where they are and where their life's going in a good way, in a good capacity. So really enjoyed this chapter. Enjoyed this very fun series to read. I'd give this one a 10. Weak Hero 207. Just realized I did not read this, and I'm kind of sad. I know. I just realized I did not read it. I'm kind of disappointed now. I'm really upset I did not read this.
So we got some nice setup. So we got to see I forget how they called it, but the Marketplace Massacre, which was just some jackass for some reason thought it was a good idea to block someone trying to leave a store who happened to just be Wolf, and naturally being Wolf, guy stared at him too long, so he beat the shit out of him.
Yep.
He beat the shit out of all him and his friends, and the Kim dude's just like, I'm gonna take this as evidence. Snap. Pieces out, then goes back to another moment right before he tried to take over Yunjin, of him paying for Wolf's crew's drinks at a karaoke bar, and Wolf seeing was like, "You're the guy that was at the general store that one time." He's like, "Yeah, that's me. Thanks for the drinks." Pieces out, and I'm just like, "I'm gonna be. I can stand it at the top. I pay for your drinks. That's all I get." Then it shows him saying, "I need to get Teddy to take down the Gray." And then it's just like, well, you know how that happened.
Yeah.
How that shows up Teddy tied up again. And Teddy's like, why do I suddenly have a shiver?
Right.
And then we get a nice setup of the other group. I can't think of their name. The one that Donald and team went and marched in on their building.
I don't remember either.
Yeah, one of their people is going to collect rent from an arcade, which has been closing a lot. And Eugene and I can't remember the other characters. Eugene and one of the other crew shows up at the arcade and goes in and starts playing when the other people just happen to miss them. One group of them's out smoking, one's in the bathroom, and Gray's going to meet them. And it has a nice little setup of it's going to be a great fight. One of the characters saying. It's like, oh, Gray's going to finally interact with them. Gray and her crew.
What would you give it?
8.
All right, okay. What about Eleceed 186?
I'll give it a 9.
Okay. Down to Earth 113. I'd give this one a 7. Pseudo Armor and Mage and Demon Queen are both back. I forgot to add chapter numbers though. Pseudo Armor I did read. I've given it an 8. Mage and Demon Queen forgot to read. Immortal Weakling also forgot to read. But Immortal Weakling is pretty good right now. I really enjoy where it's kind of going at the moment. So looking forward to reading that one. Favorite chapter of the week?
Tokyo Revengers Wild Twist.
So I will say in actuality, it probably would be Tokyo Revengers. But just because this is the last time that I can do it, I'm going to give it to True Beauty. Because it was a very good ending. All right. I think that's it for today's show. Any other thoughts on anything we chat about here today?
Not particularly, no.
All right. I'm going to hit the music. We're going to work our way out here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe and help us out there. And you can also go check out the YouTube for Animan Plus specifically and subscribe there so we can get starting using that channel more. Thank you very much. Bye.
Do everything that he said and more. So just like checking out us at our website, spark3.com. You sign up for free or sign $5 a month. We definitely appreciate that. As well, check out our sponsors like Rogue Energy, Wayward Beard Company, Red Dragon, and keep an eye out for what we got coming with Agent Inc. Super excited for that partnership and the merch to come out of it. Designing has started, so I'm super pumped to reveal to the world what we have working on. Check us out over at Twitter as well. Join the Discord, link down in the description below. I think that's it. Until next time, guys, we'll see you next week. Later.
We'll be right back.